All About the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Katie.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened so far this week. We will be focusing on the episodes of Sunday the 10th, Monday the 11th, and tonight, Tuesday the 12th of November. You have been warned, there will be beavers. Sorry, spoilers. Katie, what do you think? I'm blushing already.
We need Quentin. That's all I'm saying. I am gutted it's not a Quentin week. But never mind.
How many times did they say that word tonight?
Keyword today, new public service announcement. But I'm loving the thought of a new beaver sound effect. They've obviously bought this new sound effect and they're like, got to do it. I've got some beavers. I've got it on a special offer. We've got to wingle it in somehow. So I'm loving it. I can't wait to hear beavers. It's going to be great.
It was when they said sponsor a beaver, it sounded like an OnlyFans site for wildlife or something. I just thought, oh no, this is beyond my pay grade, definitely.
I know, I'm impressed with you. Loving it.
How expensive, though, is this
beaver?
I can't... The minute the continuity announcer says, and Rex has a bright idea, I said, oh my God, even before it started. And then for a minute I thought, oh no, I've seen this on Countryfile. They can be very good. And then this cost of £200,000 over 5 ye's.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, as soon as I heard it, I kind of thought, oh, that's quite nice, because you do hear about it on Countryfile and various other places. It's cute. But I didn't realise how much there's going to be problems. The fact that they've got to do this, what was it, 60k for kind of the fencing and everything to protect the farmland. It's hijinks are going to happen. There's just going to be, they're running amok everywhere.
And that's just 1 mile of fencing. Well, the river kind of goes a bit longer than 1 mile, and David will not be happy when they get on his land and eat his crops. You can just imagine. So
exactly, it's badgers all over again, isn't it?
Yes, and it was when they said to Tony they wanted to talk to him about beavers, and he said, "I beg your pardon." That did make me laugh. And they said, how do they capture carbon? Now, I might have missed it. Did they explain, or did they just capture it?
No, because there was a scene. There was they just hold on to it with their big paws.
Claws. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a scene change, so I don't know if there's something very secretive about how they do that. I don't know.
So, yeah, that was extraordinary, really.
Loved it. My other highlight was when Emma was talking about George in prison, about all his scary new friends and everything. The fact that one's called Baseball. She was saying, and what a terrible name that is. He must be awful. I'm thinking, I'm sure there's far worse names in prison that they cannot say on Radio 4.
Yeah.
But also if I met...
Cricket and rugby, his other best friends. Basketball.
Someone called Baseball, I'd just kind of... Hi, cool, you right? Would not bother me.
Yes, it could be machete, or I don't know, what's the worst? I'm not very good at coming up with awful names.
I could go a lot worse, but we're a safe podcast, so I'm not going to. Not worth it.
In that scene, again, we have to listen to tonight's episode very quickly and record straight away, so we don't get the opportunity to go back and listen again. But it seemed as if Neil was kissing either Susan or Emma when he came in. And I don't often hear that. I presume it was Susan, unless he was just greeting Emma. But you don't...
Yeah.
You don't
I thought he was saying bye to Emma, I think, because he said, oh, are you staying for dinner or whatever, or lunch? And she said, no, I've got to go, and there was a kiss. But yeah, I thought it really stood out, because it was, you don't hear it. It was just a kind of nice affection thing that people do when they greet each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't really hear it. It stood out to me as well. That's interesting you picked up on it as well.
Yeah. My other conundrum of today is, does lemon drizzle not go with coffee?
I know. Maybe it goes better with tea.
I'll take anything with a lemon drizzle. I'm not fussy. Water, tea, coffee. If it's a nice lemon drizzle, moistened with enough buttercream, I'm there for it. So there we go. Anyway.
On the food already.
My other question for you is, have you daydreamed about a passive house project, Katie?
No. No, I definitely haven't. I mean, I have heard of it because I do watch Grand Designs and I do love a bit of Grand Designs. So there's a lot of passive houses in there and everyone's kind of trying to do it and whatever. But one of my predictions were that Tony was going to go on Grand Designs. We're going to have Kevin MacLeod on. He's going to have this whole little train set that delivers his food to whatever room he's in. Because there used to be a toy shop in Leicester called Domino's, and that had a train set that went through every room in the toy shop, including outside and back in again. It was wonderful. So I think it's going to be like that.
Well, I'm meeting Kevin MacLeod in a few weeks, and one of my questions was going to be, or actually my question was going to be, do you listen to the Archers?
Do you want to build a passive house with Tony?
Yeah.
He likes trains.
Yeah. Yes, we'll see about that. Any flops? I mean, heaven help me, there's a few on my list, but
the worst flop was the awkward goat chat that was, I think, was at the end of last week, I think. Oh, that was awful.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday. Goat Riz.
I've tried to
help me.
Yeah. I've tried to blank it out. I felt like it was weeks ago, but oh yeah, when they were kind of going all messy because he's the goat, and then when they were trying to explain what goat meant and Simone Biles, it was so shoehorned. It was the most painful thing.
But was it more painful or less painful than Rex's AI Christmas Carol last week? I'll take the goat Riz over that, I think.
Yeah, well, the whole Christmas Carol thing was just a bit bizarre, wasn't it? It just kind of went a little bit, yeah, we're only in November. I know Christmas gets earlier each year, but let's maybe do it in December. It could be a Christmas miracle.
Well, then I thought we were going to head to the Three Billy Goats gruff this week, so I was trying to work out who that was, but no, turns out we're not. So that's something to be grateful for. Any
question though,
please?
With the book, they kept talking about how expensive it was and no one was talking about it. Who bought it? Did I miss that?
I listened to it a few times and I've written in capital letters what price has been paid. Has Henry paid for it? And if so, how have they allowed a child buy some? What's he just put it on his credit card? Or has Jack got his trust fund early from Rob and said, no bother, I'll pay. What price have they paid for this?
Yeah, I was really confused about that.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
very odd.
I'm glad that Henry, it looks like he's going to be the next generation of farmers because Jack's got all the money coming from Rob, apparently. So it's good that Henry's got something for him to cling on to. But yes.
Where did that come from? And also Lee's back. Where did that come from? When they said that they were off with Lee, I hadn't picked up he was back.
He's not been away. He's just moved.
Oh, I thought he was still in America. Oh, okay.
No, as far as, I mean, me and my imagination, but no, he came back, then split up with Helen, and he can't get a green card to live over there. But he promised he would keep in sort of regular touch with the boys. So that was nice to hear, and at least the boys get to escape from Helen.
Lucky them.
Time. Yes, lucky them. Talking of Helen, this delight with the housing situation
and the curtains. Yeah, wow, she's a bag of laughs, isn't she? Yeah, it's just really entitled and really awkward and horrible. She either wants to buy it or not. Don't be so snobby that it's on a new housing estate. You've lived in it for long enough, and the boys are happy. Get over yourself.
Exactly. And it comes with an NHBC. Joy moved in 2019, I did check, which was pretty soon after the development had been built. So there'd be about 5 years left on that. And she's telling other people, but she hasn't had a conversation with Kirsty. I just think, what is going on in this world?
I know. I really hope Kirsty just kind of gives up, puts it on the market, and then it just goes above asking price, and it's wonderful.
But as someone said on the Facebook group, I think it was the wonderful Pam, that if Helen then goes for Willow Cottage, I think that was the one that Kirsty wanted to go for, where she's been living with Roy, and if Helen goes for that, I will be so so furious I will drive myself to the mailbox and sit there protesting. Yes, it seemed like we got all switching this week. The houses switching. So Natasha and Tom's going to wake up one morning and find that he's woken up in Helen's old house and didn't even know. Yeah. And because that's Kirsty's, I mean, that is going to be a little bit... Anyway.
Yeah.
And then it was all switch on the jobs this week as well.
It was, yeah. Do we know any of the other businesses at the e-charging? We don't, do we? Because that's all really odd. I can't work out what is going on there. It's really strange.
I mean, just as we learnt a few years ago that if you cut yourself, you immediately put some Savlon on it or you'll get sepsis. That's what we learnt from Nick, unfortunately dying. And I think now we've learned, if anybody needed to learn this lesson, I can't believe they did. Now we've learned, if you're going to go for something else, if you're going to give up work, your job, you make sure you have signed the contract for the new job or the new premises before you have left your existing job. I mean...
Yes, before you flipped all the tables, walked out, told the boss what you think of him. Yes. I'm sure she did. It's bizarre. I'm very confused by that one as well.
So they offered her a tiny little shack by the toilets at this charging station. Was that what it was?
Which is kind of good if you're a coffee shop, because that's quite handy.
Bit of a smell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's now on the third smaller... Well, there we are. We've got Goldilocks now. So you see, we've had Billy Goat's Crew.
Yes.
We've now got Goldilocks. There we go.
She's moving down.
Nick. Yeah.
Why she hasn't talked to Justin about this, and why she hasn't said, instead of looking at cash flow to have like putting more money in for there being 2 years of not making any money, why not just see how much more you'd have to pay to get the prime venue and then have a look at it?
Yeah.
And poor Harrison, what do you think about Harrison's voice?
I think he's been really lovely, kind of trying to back her up and help her and kind of support her with the whole thing. He's been so good, considering how stretched he is and how miserable he is. I think he has done a lot for Fallon this week, bless him. He is kind of star of the week, jumping forward to that one, just because he has really supported her and tried to help her. He's not doing well, and I really... I'm dreading how his storyline is going, because I don't know if I've got a bad feeling somewhere something's going to happen. But he's really tried to help her this week and tried to discuss it with her and everything, but she just doesn't want to know. She's just like, no, I wanted it. Oh, Dad, I don't want it. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to go with this. Yeah, bless him.
Do just think she needs to get a cafe premises in Borsetshire and open it there. Opening a vegan cafe in a small village inhabited primarily by farmers is not the natural place for that. Whereas we've got one in our town, and you can't get a table in there. The food's amazing and it's so popular. Yeah, I do worry where she and Harrison, as you say, are going to end up.
Definitely. There were a couple of comments. I think it was Sally and Margaret. I don't know if other people have said it as well on Facebook, but they were saying about the fact that Fallon should just turn the bull into a tea room during the day kind of thing, or have an area in the bull. I think that's a great idea, because it's keeping it in the family as well. And you could do the whole kind of ploughman's thing and an afternoon tea thing, and it would be really cute. I think they could do it in kind of the extension-y bit out the back, or a barn conversion or something. I think it'd be really nice.
Or upstairs where they don't have discos anymore. That could...
exactly.
That could be it. Yes, I just don't know. And talking of other things, I must just say, if you want more of this madness, do hit follow if you're listening and subscribe if you're watching. That way, our next episodes will automatically appear in front of your very eyes, and we'd be very grateful. And Quentin has said, I've got to say hello to Amit and Leanne, who both joined the Facebook group and have just started listening to the podcast. So welcome. And welcome everyone else who's joined the Facebook group this week and just started listening to the podcast. Anyway, I've done what I promised I'd do, so that's good. Now, other questions. Yes. Well, did you have any other questions? Any faves, any flops?
The other fave, it probably goes into your, well, it definitely goes into your food thing, but it was roast goat for a lunch. Could be interested. I mean, normally it goes in a curry, which I'm much more happy with a roast because I don't like roasts. But roast goat, I don't know, could work. Who knows? Would it have crackling? I don't know. But yeah, roast goat could work.
Yes, well, very briefly on that, we've got chicken and mushroom pie, a nice lunch, purple sprouting, spring onions quiche, flapjack, and lemon drizzle. But there we go on that. Just very quickly, because we are out of time, I do need to say as well, my other favourite was the music in the tea room that we heard last night. If I had to give it a label, I would say cosy whale jazz.
Oh, that sounds great. I'll add that to Spotify. Wow.
Anyway, tell me your star of the week. I think you've hinted at it.
Yes, yeah, I'm going with Harrison. I think he's done a lot to try and help Fallon, bless him. Yours?
Yeah, I said Harrison and I said Emma because she tried to give the job back to Fallon. She's knowing that George is perhaps not up to much good in prison, so being a bit more of a realist. It's very difficult. Predictions. What are your predictions?
Well, either Tony going on to Grand Designs or going to live with the Beavers and just building this whole new dam with them, and it becomes a passive house for Beavers and Tony. I have no idea. I feel like something's going to happen between Rex and Kirsty. Has it ever happened before? I just felt like something's bubbling away there, where she's kind of like, ha ha ha, you're so funny. And then they're kind of flirting quite a bit this week, I thought. I don't know if I'm reading into that far too much. And then George just becoming a gang lord, and whether it's all going to link with these Felpersham gang things or whether it's going to link with the dog attack thing, because we've just forgotten about that and Marky.
Oh dear. Well, Kirsty could always download the Rex AI app. And then she doesn't need to date the actual Rex. There you go. One of my predictions is that Emma will say, "Is it George?" another 1,000 times over the next week, because whenever says, a leaf has moved, "Is it George?" So and so's upset. "Is it George?" I mean, I understand, but there we go. And my other prediction is about Harrison and Fallon, that they need to take a break from each other and do themselves and us a favour, 3 months apart from each other, and then they can come back, and maybe Harrison won't feel he has to do everything for Fallon, and Fallon... Yeah, anyway, don't get me started on that. Anyway, if you'd like to support us, there will be links in the show notes. You can buy us a coffee or become a Patreon if you're willing. That'd be wonderful to have that support. Next week, there will be 3 of us. There's normally 4, but poor Lauren is having to work. Sorry about that, Lauren, but there will be 3 of us. So do join us for more of our madness. Until then, it's a goodbye from me.
And a ta-ra from me.
Goodbye, everyone.